Okay, hey everybody, welcome to week 8. This is where we begin assignment number 3. Um, so I'm going to go over some of the assignments, the ideas, do some explanations, do a pretty nice quick summary of what's going on. So let's get down here to week 8. The week 8 folder um, has this PowerPoint that I've made. And what you can do is you can download a copy of it as a PDF file right here. Um, and that way you'll have it all. It will contain most of the readings that you need to deal with and an explanation of each of the discussion boards and of the assignment number 3 that we're actually just starting. So I would encourage people to download that, have their own copy of that. Here is what we're going to do. I'll go through it. First thing, I like to use this because I can then like highlight it sort of. Okay, so first thing is you're making sure that you've completed and submitted the final draft of your essay number 2. So it was due yesterday or tonight, actually. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, so by tonight at 11:59, you want to have that done and submitted. So there's more reading this week than usual. So they sort of trying to help us by warning us. So what I've done is I've sort of numbered the readings 1 through 5. And that's the order that you want to read them in, because then you'll be able to do the assignments sort of in order also. So number 1, you have the class notes, which is about writing about a long article. Number 2 is the writer's reference pages. 3 is the essay assignment for assignment number 3. 4 is you're either going to do this article, NFL's article, or you're going to pick a different one. So I will talk about that in a moment. And then you're going to read this description of justice, which is like a page long. The idea for this assignment number 3 is that you're going to take the concept of justice, understand the different kinds of justice, and then apply them to a real life situation. Now, it used to be that everybody had to do this NFL and the concussion research survey, but the director has since sort of opened up the topic so that people can do more. And so I'll show you this. Discussion, the first discussion, prompt A, that should be submitted, finished. Your initial one is for Thursday, right? So in 2 days, 11:59 p.m., you want to have your initial prompt, your initial discussion posted. And then there's a discussion prompt B that you want to have done by Sunday. So they're 2 separate prompts. Each one involves you doing something. And then also you're trying to respond to people, a classmate, after they submit something. Okay, so the next essay assignment asks you to write an essay about justice and the NFL report on concussions. Writing director has expanded the choice of content, so if you are not that interested in writing about the NFL, she's provided 2 other subjects. No matter which you choose, you'll be working toward writing and developing an essay that discusses the concept of justice in relation to the specific subject. So the 2 other subjects are the concept of reparations, and there's a couple of articles. Well, there's one here, a couple of articles for that issue about Georgetown paying reparations, and then one about student loan debt. There's some articles about student loan debt. So you have basically this NFL concussion, you have reparations, and you have student loan debt. You can pick any one of those. We're all doing the same thing with them, but you want to pick something that you might find interesting, or that always helps. Okay, so required activities, this is the basics what they give us. So post the final draft by 11:59 tonight. That's the final draft of essay number 2. Now you're going to read essay 3 assignment sheet, and let me know if you have questions. I'll explain about it a little bit. You're going to complete all of the readings that I've already mentioned. There's 5 readings, and then there's 2 discussion prompts. So that's the work for this week. Yeah, and those are the 5 readings which I just sort of mentioned. So if you download the PDF that I was talking about, that will have 4 of the readings in it. So this is reading number 1, writing about a long article. So you read that. And then this is notes about taking notes on readings that you do. like annotating a reading, meaning as you read, you make little notes and ask questions and so on. This is from the writer's reference. So this is writer number 2, reading number 2. So I just basically copied the ones that we needed to do and put them in there. And it's an example of how you annotate. It's paying attention, to the readings, which is what you want to be doing for this article that you choose, right? You sort of want to read through it, understand it, and engage with it, because you're going to also try to connect it to this concept. Okay, so assignment sheet paper 3. This is also reading number 3. So concepts and evidence. So you can choose from these: the NFL concussion study, justice and reparations, justice and student debt. So you're going to write an essay about justice and one of these subjects. You're going to use the official explanation of justice, which is one of the readings that's also attached to this. And so you're going to make sure you understand what justice is, or the different types of justice. Then you're going to try to understand a certain situation, the NFL concussion study, reparations at Georgetown, or student debt. And then you're going to discuss about the type of justice that applies, how it applies, and so on. Choose one person, organization, or group, players, leagues, fans, and a type of justice: distributive, retributive, or corrective. So you're sort of going to try to focus your paper on a group. And it doesn't, again, no matter what subject you're picking, you can focus in on a certain element there, right? Like one person involved in the situation, or one organization. You're going to try to see the situation from their perspective, and that will help you understand what type of justice applies. So this is all about the NFL. Like I said, that used to be the only one available. So how can we play, watch, and pay for football in a way that is just for that person or group, right? So this question comes about concussions, and about how it can be a violent sport, and about, what does justice look like in that world. So when you read the article, that definitely helps. What actions would have to be taken? So you're going to be discussing how can justice be brought to this situation, whichever situation it is. Be sure you discuss at least one piece of quantitative evidence in your paper. This means you're going to want to try to find numerical data having to do with your subject. And again, depends on what your subject, but like if you're doing the NFL, you're looking for study information about concussions in the NFL. Getting worse, getting better, all the numbers, all that. So you're trying to find a numerical data to use in the essay. So on this, I've put links to articles for the reparations issue, articles to the student loan debt. So reading 4 is, in fact, you picking one of these. So reading 4 is the article that you pick. If you're going to do the NFL, you're going to find that one here. Reparations. I also have these in another place in Blackboard. Before we get to, so here we are in week 8, right? Scroll down. This is the week 8 that you're going through that you can download. Okay, this reading week, right? This little folder called Start Here, Reading Week 8, will have all the readings. There's reading 1, there's reading 2, there's reading 3, and here are, I think there's almost all of them, probably all of the articles that you can choose from. So the articles actually exist, so you don't need to go to get them off of online, because I just sort of put them there. So that's a good thing to know about where they are. So that's what reading 4 is. So reading 4 is deciding on and picking your article, reading it and annotating it, like reading it closely and annotating it, and asking yourself questions. So you want to read that part of writer's reference. Then when you're done with that, you're going to, the prompt that is due for Thursday is about the article that you choose, right? So if it's the NFL one, right, you're posting an initial response to the NFL reading. If you came across this in a magazine or heard about it from a friend, what would you think about it? This is sort of a response reaction to it. Does it seem important, boring, surprising, obvious? So it's just sort of you understanding your reaction to the situation that exists. Then you're going back through the article, try to find a passage, like a paragraph, that you didn't notice or didn't remember the first time you read through it, right? That might have some information. You want to copy, post it, and then you can talk about it. Then you're basically going to analyze it and explain what it means, what it's saying. So you're just trying to find a passage that you might have skipped over or you didn't really think about, and then sort of take it out, post it, and then explain about it. How does this passage fit together with the rest of the article? What's confusing about it, or what type of person might find it interesting? So you're just finding a specific part, posting it, and then explaining it. And then you're also reading classmates, and you're trying to respond to two people's, as we've done in the past. Reading number 5, the last reading, is this justice, right? World of Criminal Justice. It's one page. It explains the different types of justice that exist very briefly, right? So that's going to be sort of what we use for this assignment. So discussion prompt B has to do with the justice part, meaning read the definition of justice. What are the differences between the 3 types? Have you heard of any of these types? Give an example of what each type would look like. If a judge was usually get to sentence people in a courtroom, right? So you're just making it up and be like, this is what this type of justice is. So you're trying to get a handle on the 3 different types. Again, with the reading classmates, try to respond to 2 people. I also put on here, I guess, the summary, or basically, of what the 3 different types of justice are. I probably just pulled them from the definition. And then that's the end of this. So again, you want to copy, you want to download the thing that I just showed you by getting it from the week 8 folder. And it'll look like this, and you can download it over here, and then you'll have a copy of it. And again, this is the plan. So once you finish revised paper number 2, like that essay's done, now we're on to this reading. So the idea basically is you're reading the first 3 things, then you're going to decide on which subject you're going to pick, the NFL, reparations, or student debt. And then you're going to do your first post, discussion prompt A, about that article. And then you're going to do prompt B, discussion post prompt B, about the concept of justice. I also may drop some more information about the different types of justice, because these are very, brief explanations, which is good because I think we can understand them pretty easily. But I do have a couple little longer ones that can give you a sense, and will give you more to say once we really start this essay number 3. So here are the instructions again. Here are the 2 discussion prompts. So that's the only writing that's done, is the 2 discussions. That's for the week. But you really want to be, at the end of the week, having a solid idea about what your topic is, whichever one you're choosing, and starting to formulate what types of justice are involved. So that's sort of what we need to get to. And then we're going to start the writing of assignment number 3. All right, I will talk to everybody later. Bye.